A school of fish that had been flashing like scattered coins suddenly tightens into one trembling mass. A seal that had been floating at ease jolts upright and changes direction. Even the water seems to grow more alert. That reality includes hardship from the very beginning. A young shark enters the sea with no nursery rhyme of parental care, no second chances granted by tenderness. It begins almost immediately in a contest of hunger, caution, and adaptation. Many do not survive. Those that do carry forward a lineage older than forests as we know them, older than birds, and older than the rise of mammals. To watch a shark is to watch deep tides, habitat loss, pollution, warming seas, and the human habit of fearing what we do not fully. Sharks must be agile enough to thread through this living architecture, while staying alert to every movement around them. Their bodies tend to be more maneuverable than those of some open ocean species, because speed alone is not enough in close quarters. A shark that cannot turn sharply or react quickly will lose prey among the coral or injure itself on the reef. Here, control matters as much as force. In coastal shallows, another difficulty appears: unpredictability. Tides rise and fall. Water temperature shifts. And because sharks reproduce slowly and mature late, many populations cannot quickly recover once reduced. Remove too many, and certain hunters rely heavily on sight during the final stages of pursuit. But vision in a shark is part of a network, not the whole picture. It does not rule the hunt alone. Sharks are multimodal predators, taking fragments of information from different senses and combining them into action. This is one reason they remain effective in such varied habitats: murky estuaries, reef shadows, open blue water. In the deep dim zones, all favor different sensory balances. A shark's power lies partly in its ability to integrate them. Then there is the most extraordinary sense of all: electroreception. Around the snout of many sharks are tiny organs called ampullae of Lorenzini, capable of detecting weak electrical fields. The ocean has noticed a presence moving through it with ancient confidence. Then, from the blue distance, a shape begins to form. Not hurried, not uncertain, just steady. A body built by millions of years of refinement, cutting through the sea with such clean efficiency that it barely appears to swim at all. Few animals have been surrounded by as much fear, myth, and misunderstanding as the shark. For many people, the word alone summons an image of a ruthless predator, a mouthful of teeth, a dark fin slicing the surface. But the real shark is far more fascinating than the legend. It is older than the dinosaurs, more varied than most realize, and more deeply woven into the story of the ocean than almost any other creature alive today. Some sharks are small enough to fit in a human hand. Others stretch longer than a bus. Some hunt with speed and force. Others drift through the sea, filtering plankton, gentle giants moving with almost dreamlike calm. Together, they form one of the most extraordinary groups of animals on Earth. A shark is a fish, but not the kind most people picture first. It belongs to a group known as cartilaginous fishes, which means its skeleton is made not of hard bone, but of cartilage, the same flexible material found in a human nose or ear. That single trait changes everything. It makes the body lighter, more agile, and better suited to a life of near constant movement. Sharks live in oceans across the world, from shallow tropical reefs to dark continental slopes, from icy northern waters to open pelagic zones where the horizon seems endless. A few species even enter rivers and tolerate fresh water for long periods. Their range is so broad because sharks are not one design repeated again and again. They are a whole family of solutions to the problem of survival in water. Some species live only a decade or two. Others may live for many decades. and a few still moving, still breathing, still hunting in the modern ocean. And yet, for all its power, the shark is not invincible. That may be the most sobering truth of all. An animal that endured natural upheavals across geological ages now struggles against nets. But in ecological terms, many sharks solve problems constantly, navigate large areas, interpret changing prey behavior, and adjust movement patterns to currents, temperature zones, and risk. That is a form of practical problem management shaped by the ocean itself. When it comes to learning from experience, evidence suggests sharks are more capable than their reputation implies. Some can learn to associate certain cues with food, modify their responses over time, and become more efficient through repeated exposure to situations. A young shark that survives failed hunts may improve by refining timing and approach. When in captivity and experimental settings, certain species have shown the ability to learn tasks and remember them. This does not make them masterminds of the sea. It makes them animals whose behavior can be shaped by experience, which is exactly what survival in a complex environment would favor. Memory, too, appears stronger than many assume. A shark that returns seasonally to certain feeding areas, migratory routes, or nursery grounds is not drifting randomly through instinct alone. Memory likely supports these repeated patterns, especially in species that navigate wide marine regions. The ocean may seem featureless from above, but to animals living within it, place matters. Productive waters, safe pupping areas, and migratory corridors are too important to ignore, and remembering them can entire reproductive strategy. In a vast ocean where timing and contact are uncertain, internal fertilization gives greater control over the beginning of development. But what happens next varies dramatically from species to species. Some sharks lay eggs enclosed in tough protective cases, often anchored to seaweed, coral, or the seafloor. These cases are sometimes called mermaid's purses, a gentle name for what is actually a hard beginning. Inside, the developing embryo must survive on stored yolk, sealed away from the outside world until it is ready to emerge. Other sharks take a different path and give birth to live young. In some species, the embryos still rely mainly on yolk while developing inside the mother, gaining the advantage of protection during their most vulnerable stage. In others, the connection between mother and developing young becomes more intimate, with forms of nourishment that bring the process closer, in principle, to what mammals do, even though the biology is very different. This diversity is one of the great surprises of shark life. The public often imagines sharks in a single dramatic image, but their reproductive systems reveal a wide range of evolutionary strategies, each shaped by habitat, risk, and energy cost. And energy cost is everything here. Producing young that are relatively well developed at birth or hatching can improve survival, but it comes at a price. Sharks generally produce fewer offspring than many other fish. A bony fish may release thousands or even millions of eggs, flooding chance with numbers. Many sharks cannot afford that strategy. Instead, they invest more in each individual offspring. That means each loss matters more. It also means shark populations often recover slowly when adults are removed from the ecosystem. Their life history is not built for birth. In some species, developing embryos compete inside the womb in brutal ways. The strongest may consume unfertilized eggs produced by the mother. In the most extreme cases, larger embryos may even consume smaller siblings. This sounds shocking, but in ecological terms, it is a grim solution to a difficult problem. If only a few young will survive in a dangerous world, then producing fewer but stronger individuals may improve long-term success. Shark life does not hide from severity. It is shaped by it from the very start. When a young shark finally enters the world, It is not helpless in the way many baby animals. No feature commands attention more than the teeth. Sharks do not have just one set. They have rows, often with replacement teeth developing behind the functional ones, ready to move forward as older teeth are lost. This conveyor belt system is one of the shark's greatest